to the Big Ten Eastern Division, and the suspense is, will it be Rutgers or will it be Maryland? Here we go.
Yeah, I just until somebody beats Ohio State within the conference, I just don't see anybody really being close. Now that, as I said on my show earlier this week, none of us predicted Iowa, none of us predicted Purdue, so things do happen. Obviously Ohio State's going to be tested week 1, and going to Minnesota is going to be tested week 2 with Oregon. But I think that when and if Ohio State gets through those first 2 games, the schedule certainly decelerates for a while, and I think that you're going to see a team with a lot of talent, maybe short on some experience in key positions, will be playing its best ball by the time that we get to the end of October. Penn State, James Franklin has gone off and had his speeches about we're a good team, but are we an elite team? It's 9-3, 7-2 elite. Probably not. I think that they'll win some games that'll be hard fought along the way, but I don't like them against Ohio State, obviously, and I also have them losing. I'm losing their opener at Camp Randall, and then they also have that big non-conference game against Auburn. Indiana is kind of the real test for me. I think 8-4, 6-3 might be best case scenario for them. Remember how Indiana beat Penn State to start the season and really kind of springboarded themselves. Obviously came up short against Ohio State in a game that was difficult to watch if you were an Ohio State fan. You have Michael Penix back. He doesn't make it through seasons healthy. How will they have him for the whole season? Will they have him for part of the season? That's a big question. You get Ty Freifogel back, you lose Whop Philyor. They definitely have an upgrade at running back, getting Stephen Carr in from USC. So I think there's some places that they can take some steps forward. I think that they've got a sneaky good defense in terms of, compared to Indiana standards for sure. And I think they're one of the better defenses in the league. Then there's that team at number 4, 7-5, 5-4. Just enough to make it difficult to get rid of that guy is what it's going to be. I don't think that they're going to be able to break through and have what they consider to be a successful season. I think they're not awful enough to have that disastrous season to where they just have an easy excuse to say it's time to make a change. And then, we get into the two new Big Ten teams. I like Rutgers a little bit better than Maryland here. I like Greg Schiano to get his team to a bowl. I think Mike Loxley's team is still, even with Tua's little brother at quarterback, I still don't think they have enough dudes around him. And then you've got Mel Tucker's Spartans team, 1-8, certainly going to be a challenge. But then again, did any of us see Michigan State beating Michigan in Michigan last year? Granted, it was that weird COVID year and everything else, but that's the reason you play the games. But I think Michigan State is probably the team that has the furthest way to go in terms of a 1-85 talent standpoint.
Big Ten fans, take note of Kevin's overall records versus his conference records. Outside of Ohio State, Penn State loses to Auburn, Indiana loses to Cincinnati, Michigan loses to Washington, Maryland loses to West Virginia, I believe, is their out-of-conference game.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Maryland. I have them. Yeah, I have them losing to West Virginia, and then I just have Michigan State losing a lot.
Yeah, I even left them alone. But all the key non-conference games are losses by the Big Ten East outside of Ohio State, Oregon.
And that hurts because that's how you build your resume, and that's how your computer rankings and stuff are built by Iowa going out and beating Iowa State, and Indiana beating Cincinnati, and Penn State somehow beating Auburn, Ohio State beating Oregon, Michigan beating Washington, and there's probably 4 or 5 more that I'm not even thinking. Wisconsin beating Notre Dame would be huge. So, I see what Kevin's done here. I probably like this ladder a lot, the way he's got it. I agree. I don't think Michigan's going to have a losing record again this year. I think they're going to be back on the winning side of the ledger, whatever that looks like. I'm a Mel Tucker guy, so I think Michigan State long term with him is going to be okay. Is it going to be Mark D'Antonio, early Mark D'Antonio contending and winning, or mid Mark D'Antonio? It took him 3-4 years to get it rolling, and then he had it rolling, and then it took him 3 or 4 years for all the wheels to fall off. Mid Mark D'Antonio, how long is it going to take him to get it to mid Mark D'Antonio level? But they have that gear. We've seen it. They can contend in the Big Ten at Michigan State. You can do it. It's been done. It's just Ohio State right now is recruiting at such a level that is so far and away out there that nobody in this conference can really lay a glove on them. Now, will there be close games like Indiana last year? Yes. And in fact, I have that as my toughest game on Ohio State's schedule at Indiana, potentially a night game, I would think, and mid to late October. I think they play potentially 3 night games in a row with at Indiana, home with Penn State, and then at Nebraska like November 7, which they can still have a night game the first weekend of November. So those may be Ohio State's 3 night games, as it turns out, depending on what TV does and the World Series and Fox and ESPN, who's got what week and all that. But at any rate, I think the game at Indiana could be the toughest. I told our guys internally, I see that as like a 14-point game, but Ohio State gets the second, the clinching touchdown in the waning moments, and Lucy again pulls the football away from Charlie Brown for the 34th straight year, and Indiana goes, ass over tea kettles or whatever, and that's that. But yeah. So, at any rate, those are my thoughts. I agree. I think Penn State's going to be up there. Just the games at Ohio State, and that's a tough road for them to hoe.